Hello friends, and welcome to another video lesson from VDOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This is the fourth video of an Excel tutorial series, and here we're going to learn about automatic generation of sequential values in Excel. As you know, Excel has a lot of features that allow us to quickly do certain things, and this is one of them. So, okay. We can start with an example of how to generate sequential values in Excel. The first one is using the month as a column header in an Excel file, maybe an Excel report. So here you can see the column header that is intended to be used is the month, like January, February, etc. So here what you will do to generate automatically the sequential values, you click on the starting value. Firstly, of course, we will type the first value that we have in mind. In this case, since it's the month, the first value is January. Okay, and then what you will do is you click on that cell. Once you're there, you drag the cell at the lower right-hand corner of that cell. So if you point at the cell, you see, if you point in some other parts of the cell, you will not see this. But if you point at the lower right-hand corner of the cell, you will see this distinct symbol, which is a plus sign or a cross. So you click your mouse and then drag your mouse to the right. You will notice that it automatically is generating the values all the way to, let's say, November, December. And you let go. Okay, I'll do it again. So first is you have to type the first value of the series that you intend to have, and then you click on that cell, and then you point your mouse on the lower right hand corner of the cell, and then you see a cross. You click your mouse and don't let it go, don't release, and then you drag. It could be to the right or downwards. Okay, up to you. So in my case, I will drag it to the right, and it will generate those values in sequential order. Okay, so that can be used as a column header for maybe an Excel report that you want to have, or just a simple Excel file, or even a template. Okay, so that's the first example. The second is still using the month, but this time it's in an abbreviated form. So what do I mean? Example, January, instead of the whole word, you just have Jan, J-A-N. So the same thing you will be doing. You supply the first value of the sequence, which is in this case Jan, meaning January, and then you click on that cell. And then when you point your mouse on the lower right-hand corner of the cell, you will see a cross. You press your mouse, you do a mouse click and don't release, and drag it to the right, same thing. And then you will notice it will be generating values that are consistent with the format of the first value, which is the first 3 letters only of the month. See? So this is what you wanted to have, a column header using the abbreviated form of the month's name, from January all the way to December, or whatever is your preference. You can even start midway. You can start June or whatever month it is that's on your mind. Okay, so this is the second example, using the month as a column header. Creating or generating sequential values with the month in an abbreviated form. Okay. Next is still the month, but this time it is sequential, but it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that order, but there is some gap, a regular gap, in this case quarterly. So as you know, a year will have 4 quarters, each one having 3 months. So this is usually used by companies. You hear of Q1, Q2, Q3, you even hear of fiscal year 1, fiscal year. So Q1, quarter 1 would normally start at January, and that would end on the 3rd month of that quarter. So let's see. But to do that, look at this. If you only supply January, you will not be able to achieve what you wanted, because if I do that, I click on that first value, first cell, and then put my mouse pointing on the lower right-hand corner and drag it to the right or even downward, what I will get is something else, February, but that's not what I wanted. So to force an unconventional pattern and relay that message to Excel, then you have to supply the second value, which is April. And then what you do is, after supplying the first two values of the series, which is quarterly, which is unconventional, you highlight the two cells. You could do that either with your keyboard, meaning once you're here, shift right, or you could drag your mouse, click your mouse here on January, and click your mouse on January, and without releasing the left button, you highlight the second one, I mean April. Now that you have both cells highlighted, the one on the columns B and C, you again point your mouse on the lower right-hand corner of the second cell, which is April, and then you will see a cross or a plus sign, and then you just drag it to the right. So there you go. That's also, that will give you the quarterly month values, meaning January, April, July, October, each one being the start of the new quarter. Okay, so that's the third example we have. Again, we are trying to generate, for those of you who have just joined, we're trying to generate sequential values, in this case, elements of a date, specifically months. Okay, so the next one we will have is the whole date itself. Don't worry about the format. You can change this format anyway, in any way you prefer. It is in, you can talk about it, or you can also explore it. It's somewhere here where I'm pointing. You can say date. There's a short date, long date, and if either of these two, neither of these two satisfies your preferred format, then you will go for custom. Okay, there is here something called more number formats. Okay, but we'll not talk about that in this video. I will just show you how to generate sequential values of, in this case, the date. Okay, so the same thing, you will supply the first value of the sequence. In this case, I'm just thinking of 1st January 2022, actually a future date. And then once the focus is there, I clicked on that cell, I will point my mouse on the lower right-hand corner of that cell. It will give me a black plus sign or a cross. So I will again do a mouse click, and without releasing, just drag my mouse to the right. It could also be downwards, but in this case, I'm trying to create column headings. So if you can imagine, I can just drag this endlessly to the right, and it will just keep on continuously generating that sequential value, 23, 24, 13 Jan, 14 January, and so on. It will. But I'm just showing you this little bit of the screen because it is, again, optimized for somebody viewing this or watching this video from his cell phone. Okay, let's go to the next example. This time it's still date, but it's quarterly. Specifically, it's a combination of month and year. Again, this is something that you might encounter, the need for it in the corporate setting in the company. Okay, so since it's an unconventional sequential ordering, because there are gaps in between, then you will supply the first two values, January 22 and April 2022. Okay, so, and then the next thing I will do is I will highlight both cells with the mouse. You can do it with your keyboard, but you can also do it with your mouse. You click on the first one, which is B1, and then you, without releasing the mouse button, you drag it to the right, and then you've already highlighted both cells. With that, the next thing you'll do is you'll point your mouse on the lower right-hand corner of the second cell, and you see this plus sign, and click your mouse, don't release, and then drag it to the right. You can even keep on dragging it. It will continue with that sequence that you have defined using these first two values. So you see it's quarterly, Jan, April, July, October, and then it repeats, although it's a different year, January, April, July, October, and so on. Okay, that's also another example of Excel automatically generating for you a sequential value. In this case, it's a date. Okay, the next we will do is this sequential numbers. Okay, very easy. But let's just hold on for a minute and observe how it behaves. If I will drag, now I have supplied the first value, sequence, which is number one. If I drag, if I point at the lower right-hand corner of the cell and then see the plus sign and drag down, you will see what happens. It's just 1, 1, 1. But that's not what we obviously needed to begin with. Okay, so I will undo that. I will undo this. What you will do now, same as what we did in one of the examples previously, is to supply the second value to force the sequence and tells Excel in an obvious way, this is the sequence that I wanted. So after supplying the first two values of the sequence that you wanted, you highlight the two cells using your mouse, click here, drag your mouse downward, and then you point on the lower right-hand corner of this cell called A3. And then you just drag it down. So it automatically generates for you the sequential values. You can also do it too, going to the right. Here, this is different, it's numeric, but it's, if you've seen my previous video, also in Excel, this is an unconventional way of entering or writing a number because it's led by zeros. It has leading zeros, or sometimes called zero padded. So it is actually a text in text form, but still it has its own way of, Excel has its own way of treating this if you want to automatically generate sequential values for this. So I will just point on the lower right-hand corner of this cell and then just happily drag it down and it will produce. A bit different from how it treats a purely numeric value. Okay, so we've seen such examples of generating sequential values of dates, date elements, and numbers. Okay, here you see everything. The ones that you've done in the previous 6 examples, they're all shown in one shot. Okay, and finally here, I have a sample output. Imagine a sales report for some fictional year you have in mind. And just to show you some usages of what we've done in the previous examples, namely generating sequential values of numbers and dates. In this case, this is a combination of month and year. Okay, so there you go. We have learned in this video how to generate sequential values in Excel using features already built in by Excel. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned something new, something useful, and please click subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you, and see you in the next video.